Alright folks, I got a quick one for you. Since I've got my hands on the Indian Challenger a few times now, I wanted to go over a few thoughts about the infotainment system. I will say that I was a bit underwhelmed. But yes, we're talking about the infotainment system, because we already know how amazing the engine is with its big CCs, along with all the whistles and features and doodads that come with the Challenger. But this video is already overdue since I posted the first ride video a while ago, so if you haven't seen my Indian Challenger first ride, subscribe and definitely go check that out when you get a chance. Alright, so a bit of some background info for those that aren't up to date. So on the Indian fairing models like the Chieftain, the RoadMaster, the Challenger, and the non-fairing model, the FTR 1200S, they come equipped with Indian's ride command system that displays information about the bike like tire pressures, oil life, including features like navigation and media playback. The whole point of this is convenience, and it eliminates the guesswork of having to figure these things out manually. I can't tell you how many times I've had to use a tire pressure gauge to constantly try to use this to figure out what my tire pressures were versus just having it displayed to me on the screen. It's just convenient. But with the new Indian Challenger, they introduced the latest version of this ride command system. And one of the most notable changes done to the Challenger's infotainment system outside of the software is its physical location inside of the fairing. Now, the design choice was more ergonomic focused to bring the screen closer to the rider. And for reference, the screen is located close to the rider on the Chieftain, and the purpose is to prevent having to reach further forward to interact with the screen by hand, along with just being able to see the screen better. Which brings me to one of the biggest complaints about fixed fairing motorcycles with these systems installed, is how far the touchscreen is placed in relation to the rider. I noticed that when riding a road glide for the first time while on my tour through California, but you do still, however, have toggle switches on the handlebars to navigate the system while riding, to not have to touch the screen at all. And this works for both Indian and Harley Davidson. But in regards to the Challenger, I think Indian found a sweet spot on the placement to cover different reaches and heights. With my height at 5'10", I had no issue reaching or touching the screen while riding if I chose to do so. But on the Harley Road Glide, I had to make more of an effort to reach forward off the seat to come close to the screen if I wanted to interact with it by hand. It's even more difficult to do this while riding, but that's why you have the toggle switches on the handlebar. And also I found it a bit more difficult to see since I was sitting further away from the screen. It just feels a lot less of a task on the Challenger, but that design choice did come at the expense of some people not liking the overall look of the fairing. Some people just aren't with the gauges above the screen, among other personal tastes, but we all know that everyone just can't be pleased anyway. But that said, what do y'all think of the rider cockpit and the touchscreen placement? Let us know in the comments. So something else I noticed with the Challenger screen on my test ride, even though it was for a brief moment, I found it hard to see the screen display while in bright sunlight. You can brighten or darken the screen manually to compensate for that or set it to auto adjust, but I don't think it's a deal breaker, but I do think it's worth noting. But besides those few nuances, the current infotainment system setup is solid. You can change multiple settings to alter how the information is presented to you. Then you got navigation and of course, your favorite tunes with media playback. It gets the job done, and I'm sure Harley Davidson's infotainment system is just as efficient and functional. Now honestly, we'd probably be splitting hairs on the differences between the two, but Indian does claim to have the fastest infotainment system in its class with this new quad-core processor. And for you non-tech savvy folks out there, it just means that they have the fastest system. But that power bump is used to smooth out the customizable screens, the navigation that you can have to display information, along with the added live traffic and weather updates. All of that helps plan out your ride and shift your routes around from unwanted delays. It just makes for a smoother experience. But with all of those new additions and quality features that Indian added to the ride command system, I still think they missed an even better opportunity. While I think highly of the ride command system that we currently have, I would have personally liked to see the system come with Android Auto or Apple CarPlay. Now these two features, what they do, they allow the rider to extend their smartphone apps to the motorcycle. So instead of having to use the built-in Indian navigation, you could use Google Maps or Waze. Or for media playback, you could use Spotify, Apple Music, or SiriusXM. And I know many of you would like to see less tech and less connected features on the motorcycle, but that's a topic for another day. However, we can still talk about it in the comments, so let me know your thoughts on that. And having a proprietary system in place with Android Auto or Apple CarPlay isn't new to the automotive scene. But for motorcycles, Harley Davidson already added Apple CarPlay recently to their Boombox GTS infotainment system, and it is also featured on the Honda Goldwing. The option is still there to use the proprietary systems that they have built in, but Apple CarPlay is now included for those that have Apple iPhone devices. So adding Android Auto or CarPlay, even if it was a paid feature add-on for those that wanted it, could have been a solid feature to make the ride command more attractive to competition. But then again, I don't think the target market and audience is picking these motorcycles simply for that feature. But for someone like me that likes having tech in my motorcycles, I will be looking for that option for my next purchase. But maybe I'm asking for too much. But don't get me wrong, I do think the current Indian ride command setup works well without those added services. I think though with the customizable screens, it will be more work on Indian's engineers to make them work seamlessly with Android or Apple's device ecosystem. Because in the automotive industry, you either use their system or you use the Android Auto or CarPlay feature. And you can't do both. And I think Harley and Honda took that same route with their versions. But nonetheless, the option could be there for those of us that want it. The alternative to all of this would be to use an aftermarket head unit, but at that point, I don't think it'd be worth losing the native functionality of the ride command. But then again, these are my own thoughts as I pass the question off to you all. Would you pay a bit more for convenient features like Android Auto or Apple CarPlay, or would you be okay without navigation altogether? Either way, this is me forward thinking in what hopefully comes as a ride command update at some point. But let's talk about it below. But for those of you that haven't already, consider sticking around and hitting that subscribe button, and of course, hitting that like button if you not only enjoyed it, but you got something out of it. And as always, thanks for watching, and I'll see y'all in the next one.